following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with a special review of what is arguably been one of the most hard to find Transformers figures of the Legacy Evolution line, and it is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Walgreens exclusive Autobot Medix. He is the first character from the Transformers Rescue Bot series to be given a Legacy figure, and even though it wasn't until recently that he was announced as the Walgreens exclusive for last year in 2023. Medix did manage to appear on eBay in limited numbers, and that's where I got my copy. So I've had him for a couple of months now. But overall, I'm really thrilled to have him. You might notice the background is different. That's because I'm filming in a different location just to see if this works better than my current viewing station. So let's just see how reviewing Transformers figures at this angle works out for now. So here is Medix in his box in all his splendor and glory. You got some nice artwork of his alt mode. Coming around here to this side of the box, you got a close-up image of his face, his robot mode. Where he's using his tools to defend against the Decepticons. Go on here to this side, you've got half the image for the Legacy Evolution line. Going around here to the back, you've got product photos, robot mode, alt mode, the Evo Fusion gimmick, which is just fusing all his weapons together, transforms back and forth between both modes in 15 steps, and overall, he's a pretty great looking Transformers figure. Those of you who have been collecting the Legacy Evolution line might notice that he looks somewhat similar, and that's because Medix is the fourth use, or is he the fifth use? I can't remember now, but he's the fourth version that I got and added to my Transformers collection. He's the fourth version of the Legacy Skids mold. But he's more of a repaint and retool of Legacy Crankcase, who was a retool of Legacy Skids, so you get the idea. So, without further delay, let's get Medix out of his box and take a close look at him in robot mode. Alright, and here is Medix out of his box and in robot mode, and basically weaponed up with all of his accessory pieces. He's got the same accessory pieces that came with Crankcase, but then he's got red versions of the laser guns that originally came with Legacy Elita 1. They also came with Legacy Minerva, but Elita 1s were done in blue, Minervas were done in clear white, and Medix has his laser guns done in red plastic. He also has the same light bar siren that I believe might have been used on the Siege version of Prowl, but I could be wrong. But anyways, it's there. I won't go into articulation because I kind of went through that with Skids and also with Crankcase, but you get the idea. And so this is basically what Hasbro's first attempt at a character from the Rescue Bots getting released. So for a robot mode size comparison, here he's next to the figure he's retooled from, which is Legacy Crankcase, and as you can see, it amazes me how they're almost the opposite colors, with Crankcase being mostly black and Medix being mostly white, but yeah, pretty nice retool. And again, Medix is the first character from Rescue Bots to be given a figure in the Legacy line. It's just, he's overall a very fun figure. He does have the same shoulder cannons that Crankcase came with, and removing all the accessory pieces. The only difference between Medix and Crankcase is the different head sculpts, but yeah, I still think he's a pretty fun figure to have. And apparently it's been confirmed that Walgreens is ending its toy department, so whether or not Medix is going to be the final Walgreens exclusive Transformers action figure is uncertain at this point. I personally hope that he is, because as every Walgreens exclusive figure, someone either gave it to me as a gift or I purchased it online from either Amazon or eBay. So yeah, it's just, I really always found it difficult trying to buy up and collect the Walgreens exclusive Transformers figures. But yes, I really hope that just like we recently got Chase in Wave 1 of Legacy United, I hope that Chase and Medix are joined by more characters from Rescue Bots. So without further delay, let's get Medix transformed into his alt mode and wrap up the review. Alright, and so here is, oops, I accidentally bumped my camera. Here is Medix in his alt mode. Do a quick 360. And unfortunately, due to the extra weapons and him having only Three 5mm ports in alt mode. This is the best weapon storage. Alright, so you could imagine the two red laser guns on the back acting like a pair of emergency antennas. And as if you want, and unfortunately the blue laser gun up on the light bar is just a laser gun on top. Medix is supposed to be an ambulance, just like his original Rescue Bots incarnation, but because it's a off-road vehicle, you could imagine that it's a heavy-duty ambulance designed for emergency rescues, or a military ambulance if you want. But yes, that's the way it is pretty much. He rolls fairly well, although this is an uneven surface on this brown box that I have him on. Here he is next to Crankcase. Ace, again, the only difference between the two is the different head sculpts in robot mode. So in vehicle mode, it's... Oh, if you already have Legacy Crankcase, then... As I accidentally bumped my camera, I apologize for that, but Medix is just Crankcase done up in white plastic instead of black, so... One minor gripe that I have is I wish they would have actually painted the hubcaps on Medix's wheels, because with Crankcase, especially on the front wheels, the peg is done in is cast in black plastic. As taken with Medix, it's cast in white plastic. So on the front wheels, Medix and Crankcase look as though they almost have the opposite colored wheels, just like their vehicle modes do. But overall, I still enjoy the way it is. I honestly thought that the 5mm peg was further up. It's been a while since I've looked at Crankcase, but I just really enjoy how Medix came out. And for one last special size comparison, here is every use of this mold that's been released so far. So in addition to Crankcase, here is Medix next to the original version of the mold, Legacy Skids, and then we have Burnout, who was released in the Velocitron Speed of 500 line, and then we have Crosscut, who was also released in Legacy Evolution. So this mold has now been used 5 times, and technically it could be used at least 2 more times, because there were originally 5 versions of Skids in Takara Tomi's Diaclone Robots line. There was also a red and an orange version. In more recent years, the red version was given the name Reboost, then the orange version was given the name Screech. So even though this mold has already been used 5 times due to Crankcase and Medix being used for it, I personally hope that we get it Screech and Reboost in this mold as well. If this mold were to be released a 6th and 7th time to give us all 5 Diaclone versions of Skids, I would buy them in an instant. And one thing that I forgot to mention in robot mode is, even though I fiddled around with him a bit, when transforming him into alt mode, the joints on Medix had the exact same tolerances on Crankcase, so there's no mold degradation amongst all 5 of these figures. But yeah, here's hoping that the mold does get used a few more times. It can be a little finicky to transform, especially getting the arms and legs to line up and overlap each other to form the underside of the vehicle mode. But overall, I am really thrilled to have a character from Rescue Bots being given a figure in the Legacy line, and I honestly never would have thought until the figure was announced that Skids would be used as a basis for a new modern-day figure of Medix from the Rescue Bot series. So for the final proverbial question of the review, do I recommend getting Legacy Evolution Medix and adding him to your Transformers collection? Absolutely I do. Do I recommend getting Medix even if you have all the other versions of the mold that have been released so far, Skids, Burnout, Crosscut, and Crankcase? Absolutely. All 5 of them look pretty great standing next to each other, and even though Crankcase is the only Decepticon here, the others are all Autobots. I think this is one of my favorite molds to come out of the Legacy line so far, and because he's been overlooked throughout the Transformers franchise due to him appearing only in 2 episodes of the G1 cartoon as a background character, I've always liked Skids and Ids, and I just love the fact that, with the exception of Burnout and Crankcase both being black, I love that Medix being white. It shows that every version of this mold has been used in Almost every version of this mold has been done up in a different color. Technically, Crankcase is solid black and Burnout is like charcoal black, so they are different shades. But yeah, I just really impressed with how Medix turned out. I love the paint detailing of the lifeline that you would see on a monitor screen coming out. I love that all of the windows on the sides of him are done in the same clear plastic this time. Technically, the same was done for Crankcase's windows, but it's hard to tell with the with the plastic used on the windows being a charcoal gray with black plastic on the interior. It's not as noticeable as it is on Medix. But yeah, he is a pretty nice looking off-road vehicle type ambulance. And I don't have much prior knowledge on the Transformers Rescue Bots series, but at least I do know that Medix wasn't one of the characters who appeared at the start of the Rescue Bots franchise. So for Rescue Bots fans, it was a surprise that out of all the characters from Rescue Bots, that Medix was the first one to be given a figure in the Transformers Legacy line. So thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFN Geek, and this has been my review of Legacy Medix. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out, and please let me know down in the comment section if you want me to see me do reviews like this, where I have the figure in front of the camera, or if I should stick to the way I've been doing reviews before, where I'm holding the figure up in front of me. I did it this way, since it gave me easier access to my new microphone. So thank you guys all so much, and until next time, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.